Most mornings you pour your coffee and think nothing more of it than the warmth and the ritual. But what if that same cup, the one you're already making every single day, could be doing something far more significant for your health? What if a few simple, inexpensive additions could transform it from a pleasant habit into one of the most effective anti-aging tools in your kitchen? I'm Dr. Sandra Connors, a geriatric physician and nutritional medicine specialist, and over 20 years of working with older adults, one pattern I've observed consistently is this. Small daily habits, compounded over months, produce far more measurable health improvements than dramatic short-term interventions. Your morning coffee is already one of those daily habits. The question is whether it's working for you or simply passing through. After 60, your body faces a set of specific challenges: accelerating muscle loss, chronic low-grade inflammation, declining circulation, and reduced nutrient absorption efficiency. Each of the 8 additions I'm sharing today addresses one or more of those challenges directly. We'll go from most modest to most powerful. Stay through the end. The ingredient at number 1 has clinical evidence behind it that consistently surprises my patients when I share it in the office. Addition number 8, cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of the most underestimated metabolic tools available to older adults, and it costs almost nothing. The core benefit for seniors is blood sugar stabilization. After 60, insulin sensitivity naturally declines, meaning blood sugar fluctuates more widely after meals. These swings are clinically significant. Elevated post-meal glucose triggers an inflammatory response that directly impairs muscle protein synthesis and accelerates muscle wasting over time. Cinnamon's active compounds, particularly cinnamaldehyde, help slow glucose absorption and improve cellular insulin response, smoothing out those spikes before they cause downstream damage. I had a patient, 68-year-old John, who complained of consistent afternoon fatigue and noticed his leg strength gradually declining on stairs. After we reviewed his diet, we identified significant post-lunch blood sugar swings. He began adding half a teaspoon of cinnamon to his morning coffee. Within 3 weeks, his afternoon energy had stabilized, and his next fasting glucose reading had dropped nearly 20 points. His legs, he told me, felt noticeably lighter. The right way to use it. Half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, labeled True Cinnamon, daily. Ceylon contains significantly lower levels of coumarin, a compound that can stress the liver in large doses, than the more common cassia variety. Stir directly into hot coffee. No calories, no blood sugar impact, and genuine metabolic benefit. Addition number 7, unsweetened cocoa powder. Cocoa powder added to coffee creates what researchers call a flavanol delivery system, and for aging muscles and blood vessels, that matters considerably. Flavanols in pure cocoa improve endothelial function, the ability of blood vessel walls to relax and widen, allowing oxygen-rich blood to reach muscle tissue more efficiently. A meta-analysis of over 40 studies found that regular cocoa flavanol intake improved blood flow markers meaningfully, with effects beginning within 2 hours of consumption. For older adults whose leg muscles feel heavy or whose walking endurance has declined, improved peripheral circulation is not a cosmetic benefit. It is the difference between muscles receiving adequate oxygen and nutrients or quietly starving despite adequate protein intake. One of my patients, 72-year-old Evelyn, was frustrated that her morning walks felt increasingly laborious despite being otherwise healthy. Her grandson suggested adding unsweetened cocoa to her coffee. Within several weeks, she noticed lighter legs, better stamina, and at her next appointment, her blood pressure had dropped several points, consistent with the vasodilatory effects cocoa research documents. The right way to use it. 1 level teaspoon of natural unsweetened cocoa powder, not sweetened hot chocolate mix, which contains primarily sugar with minimal flavanol content. Stir into hot coffee. The combination of coffee's caffeine and cocoa's flavanols creates complementary circulation support. Caffeine for alertness and short-term vascular response. Flavanols for sustained endothelial benefit throughout the day. Addition number 6, MCT oil or coconut oil. After 60, cellular energy metabolism becomes less efficient at using glucose as fuel. a shift that contributes directly to the fatigue, brain fog, and muscle weakness many older adults experience mid-morning and through the afternoon. Medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs, offer an alternative fuel pathway. They are rapidly converted by the liver into ketones, which muscle cells and brain cells can use directly and efficiently without the insulin response that glucose requires. 69-year-old Harold came to me frustrated by persistent mid-morning energy crashes that sent him reaching for sugary snacks. After adding 1 teaspoon of MCT oil to his morning coffee, blended for a smooth, creamy texture, he found his energy remained stable until lunch, his cravings diminished, and over 2 months he lost 7 pounds around his midsection without other dietary changes. His evening walks, which he had been shortening, became easier and longer. The right way to use it. Start with 1 teaspoon and build gradually. Too much MCT oil too quickly can cause digestive discomfort in some people. Use a small blender or milk frother to fully emulsify the oil into the coffee rather than letting it float on the surface. Quality MCT oil derived from coconut is widely available and affordable at most grocery stores. Addition number 5. Milk or fortified soy milk. This addition is the simplest on the entire list, and it is one that many older adults overlook precisely because it seems too ordinary to be meaningful. Half a cup of whole milk or fortified soy milk added to morning coffee provides 4 to 6 grams of complete protein, including leucine, the amino acid that serves as the primary trigger signal for muscle protein synthesis. For adults over 60, who need approximately 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal to overcome anabolic resistance effectively, even this modest addition at breakfast helps build toward that threshold. 72-year-old Dolores had been drinking black coffee for decades, believing she was making the healthier choice. Her daughter, a registered nurse, noticed Dolores's arms thinning and her functional strength declining, struggling with grocery bags, moving more slowly on stairs. She suggested switching to coffee with fortified soy milk. Within months, Dolores was carrying groceries more easily. At her annual physical, her bone density had shown a modest but rare improvement, attributable in part to the calcium, vitamin D, and isoflavones in the fortified soy milk she was now consuming daily. The right way to use it. Half a cup of whole milk, lactose-free milk, or unsweetened fortified soy milk. Avoid flavored creamers. They replace meaningful nutrition with sugar, artificial flavor, and hydrogenated oils that promote the inflammation you are trying to reduce. Addition number 4. Collagen powder. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the human body, the structural framework holding muscles to bones, cushioning joints, maintaining skin elasticity, and supporting tendon and ligament integrity. After 60, natural collagen production declines by approximately 1% per year. That cumulative loss is one of the primary reasons joint stiffness, slow recovery, and the feeling of physical fragility become increasingly common. Robert, 70, was an avid gardener who began dreading the knee pain and soreness that followed even light outdoor work. A colleague mentioned collagen powder in coffee. Skeptical but willing, he tried 1 scoop daily for 8 weeks. The results? Less knee discomfort, smoother movement, and the ability to kneel without pain were meaningful enough that he has continued consistently for 2 years. A 2022 clinical study found that seniors supplementing with collagen reported reduced joint discomfort, faster post-activity recovery, and improved flexibility compared to a control group. Effects attributed to collagen's amino acids glycine and proline, which are largely absent from most dietary protein sources. The right way to use it. 1 scoop, approximately 10 grams, of unflavored hydrolyzed collagen peptides dissolved directly into hot coffee. It is tasteless and blends completely. Pair with a vitamin C source at the same meal. Vitamin C is an essential cofactor for collagen synthesis, and pairing them together ensures your body can actually use what you're providing. Addition number 3. Whey protein powder. Whey protein earns its place near the top of this list because it addresses anabolic resistance. the age-related decline in muscle cells' responsiveness to protein more directly than almost any other food source. Whey is exceptionally rich in leucine, with a concentration that consistently exceeds other protein sources. Leucine functions as the molecular trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Without adequate leucine per meal, the repair and building signal is simply not activated, regardless of total protein intake. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults supplementing with whey protein gained 38% more lean muscle mass compared to those who did not, even when overall caloric intake was similar. 67-year-old Helen was active, but noticed her arms thinning, laundry baskets feeling heavier, and stairs leaving her more winded than they used to. After adding 1 scoop of unflavored whey isolate to her morning coffee for 2 months, she reported firmer arms, steadier legs, and her physician confirmed measurable lean muscle gain at her follow-up, something her doctor described as unusual and encouraging for her age. The right way to use it. 1 scoop of unflavored whey isolate stirred into hot coffee. Isolate form is lower in lactose than concentrate, making it easier to digest for most older adults. Start at half a scoop if you are new to protein supplementation, and build up over 2 weeks to allow your digestive system to adjust. Addition number 2. Ground chia seeds. Chia seeds are frequently dismissed as a trendy garnish, but their nutritional profile addresses 3 of the most significant dietary deficiencies seen in Americans over 60. Inadequate omega-3 fatty acids, insufficient dietary fiber, and low plant-based protein intake. The omega-3s in chia seeds, alpha-linolenic acid, reduce chronic systemic inflammation, the same inflammatory environment that blocks muscle protein synthesis, stiffens joints, and accelerates cognitive decline. The NIH has identified chronic low-grade inflammation as a primary driver of accelerated aging across multiple organ systems. Dietary omega-3s are one of the most consistently documented natural interventions for reducing inflammatory markers. 70-year-old George struggled with constipation, persistent belly fat, and joint stiffness on morning walks. His nutritionist daughter suggested grinding chia seeds and adding a teaspoon to his coffee. Within weeks, his digestion had normalized, his waistline had measurably reduced, and his joints felt less stiff. "I feel like I oiled my engine," he told me when I shared the story with him, and he recognized himself in it. The right way to use it. 1 to 2 teaspoons of ground chia seeds, not whole. Whole chia seeds often pass through the digestive tract intact, delivering minimal nutritional benefit. Ground seeds release their omega-3s, fiber, and protein fully. Stir into hot coffee. The mixture thickens slightly to a smooth, slightly nutty texture that most people find pleasant. Addition number 1. Turmeric with black pepper. Turmeric earns the top position because curcumin, its primary active compound, addresses the root cause underlying most of the health challenges older adults face: chronic systemic inflammation. Inflammation after 60 is not occasional soreness after activity. It is a persistent, low-level biological state that damages muscle tissue, stiffens arteries, deteriorates joint cartilage, and impairs cognitive function simultaneously. The American Heart Association has highlighted chronic inflammation as a central contributor to cardiovascular risk in older adults. Curcumin directly inhibits several of the key molecular pathways that drive this inflammatory process. The critical practical detail: curcumin in isolation is poorly absorbed. Your body processes and eliminates most of it before it reaches the bloodstream. Adding black pepper changes this fundamentally. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, inhibits the metabolic breakdown of curcumin and increases its bioavailability by up to 2,000%. This is not a minor enhancement. It is the difference between a decorative spice and a therapeutically active compound. 73-year-old Satoshi had been forced to stop gardening, his passion, due to persistent knee pain and swelling. Conventional pain management offered only partial relief. After adding half a teaspoon of turmeric with a pinch of black pepper to his morning coffee daily for 6 weeks, he returned to kneeling in his garden. At his follow-up, his inflammatory markers had dropped substantially. His physician described his movement as that of someone considerably younger. The right way to use it. Half a teaspoon of ground turmeric plus a small pinch of black pepper stirred into hot coffee. The warmth of the coffee helps release curcumin's activity. If the earthy flavor is initially off-putting, a small addition of cinnamon or a single drop of raw honey balances it well. Consistency is essential. The clinical benefits documented in research reflect daily intake over several weeks, not occasional use. Here is a practical morning coffee protocol that incorporates all 8 additions without overwhelming your routine. Base cup. Hot brewed coffee of your choice. Layer 1. Flavor and metabolic support. Half teaspoon Ceylon cinnamon plus 1 teaspoon unsweetened cocoa powder. Layer 2. Energy and protein. Half cup milk or fortified soy milk plus 1 teaspoon MCT oil blended, plus 1 scoop whey protein or collagen powder. Choose one to start, alternate daily. Layer 3. Anti-inflammatory. Half teaspoon turmeric plus pinch of black pepper plus 1 teaspoon ground chia seeds. Timing. Consume within 30 minutes of waking, ideally before or alongside a small breakfast. The post-exercise window, 30 to 60 minutes after any morning activity, is the optimal time for protein additions specifically. Muscle cells are maximally receptive to leucine signaling during this period. Start with 2 or 3 additions and build over 2 weeks. Introducing all 8 simultaneously can make it difficult to identify which ones your body responds to best. 3 clinical mistakes I want to address directly. Using sweetened commercial versions instead of pure ingredients. Hot chocolate mix is not cocoa powder. Flavored creamers are not milk. Sweetened turmeric lattes are not turmeric. Added sugar counteracts every anti-inflammatory and metabolic benefit these ingredients provide. Read labels carefully and choose pure, unsweetened, unflavored forms exclusively. Expecting results within days. The studies showing meaningful improvements in muscle mass, inflammatory markers, and joint function reflect weeks to months of consistent daily use. 3 days of effort produces nothing measurable. These are daily habits, not acute treatments. Ignoring medication interactions. Turmeric at therapeutic doses can interact with blood thinners, including warfarin and aspirin. MCT oil may require adjustment if you manage liver conditions. Whey protein may need dose modification with certain kidney conditions. Please review these additions with your physician if you manage chronic conditions or take prescription medications. This is good clinical practice, not excessive caution. 8 additions, each one affordable, available at any American grocery store, and backed by research showing meaningful benefits specifically for adults over 60. Cinnamon for blood sugar stability. Cocoa for circulation. MCT oil for clean, sustained energy. Milk or soy milk for daily protein. Collagen for structural repair. Whey protein for muscle synthesis. Ground chia seeds for omega-3s and fiber. And turmeric with black pepper for the systemic inflammation that underlies nearly every chronic health challenge after 60. You are already making coffee every morning. The question is simply whether those minutes are working for your health or just warming your hands. Start with 1 addition this week. Add another next week. Give it 30 days and pay attention to how you feel. Tell me in the comments, which of these 8 are you going to try first? If this was useful, please share it with someone whose mornings could use a meaningful upgrade. Give it a like and subscribe to Senior Meal Coach for more evidence-based nutrition guidance built specifically for adults over 60. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.